You know, all right. Top line of this one: false admiration. This is going to be a good one. You guys probably want to watch this one to the end because I'm going to touch on a lot of things. False admiration. It's a very common thing in this world. You have to suspend your ego, suspend your perspective, and sometimes just kind of step outside of yourself and take a third person look at yourself sometimes. And you'll start to notice the people who want to gravitate towards you, or the people who are giving you attention. And from all of that, the people who portray themselves as though they have some newfound respect, or they're finally manifesting respect or admiration that they've had for you. There's four main things. I'll go ahead and give you what I'm gonna run through. One of the reasons is what you can do for other people, or what resource you can provide to them. Second reason that false admiration comes about a lot: because you prove them wrong, or you shock them, or you bamboozle them. Third reason why false admiration comes: false respect. Because people are just wanting to be a part of the crowd. They're wanting to go along with the popular consensus, or the opinions that are in closest proximity to you. Fourth reason is just flat out narcissism. A lot of people will admire you. A lot of people will start to change their dialogue when they speak to you or about you. And it has more to do with them wanting to claim you, or siphon your energy, or siphon the attention you're getting to themselves. Those are the four reasons that I'm going to speak on. All right. First one I said is what you can do for others. A lot of time, people don't admire you. People don't have respect for you until it comes about that you can do something for other people, or that you have some functionality that they can use. You develop a new purpose. I can give you an example. I know people that were starting their businesses, starting their endeavors in life. And when they first started off, people knew what they were doing. People knew what they wanted to do before they set the ball in motion. But it was just like a sports ticker just going at the top of the screen, or a sports ticker going at the bottom of the screen. It's like so and so is going off to the military. So and so's enlisting in the Navy. So and so is about to move to go and try to make a career on Broadway. And people will hear it and they'll be like, not even necessarily that they're hating. Sometimes they are. Not necessarily that they're doubting. Sometimes they are. But at the very least, it's a mute detail. And then once things start to fall into play for you, once you get some momentum, then they start to think, I might be able to get some tickets to that Broadway show. Or it's really silly, but people start to look at you as having a functionality. If you go off to do some martial arts, or let's say you go be an MMA fighter, or let's say that you go off and become a mechanic, you go to a trade school, they be looking like, trade school. I mean, why not just go to college? I know a lot of people that look down on folks that go to trade school, go to technical school, because that's kind of I'll just go ahead and say it. It's like they see it as a beta move. Like, the real success bound people go off to college. They go to universities, not knowing that crafts and trades and knowing how to work with your hands, knowing how to fix things, knowing how to build things, that's the type of stuff that pushes society. That's the type of stuff that pushes the world, actually. Because it comes down to the point where a lot of people are just dreamers and they build a dream, but people that have those technical skills, they're the ones that actually apply it. They're the ones who maintain it. They're the ones who preserve infrastructure. You go off and learn how to be a plumber, be like a plumber. But then all of a sudden somebody start having problems with their pipes, start having problems with their sink, start having problems with their toilet. Then they think of you like, oh, so and so be doing that. Then they'll have some admiration for you in that moment. Let's say you're a entertainer, some type of public promoter or something like that. That'll just seem like something that don't really make no money, or kind of a one of those jobs where you'll never be broke but you'll never get rich. I've heard that saying so much. But there'll come a point where maybe they have a wedding, maybe they have some type of reception, maybe they're having some type of get together, and then they think about you. Or maybe they have somebody that they want to reference to you, or reference you to. You know how to work on cars. All of a sudden, someone's car breaks down. All of a sudden, someone's car needs service. Then they think about that person who be spending all summer and spending all their free time in a garage with their head under a hood. They become relevant. So when people become relevant, that's when they start to get false admiration a lot of times. And until those moments, it's just a satellite endeavor that's just kind of floating out there like, well, I know of it. Might not even think about it. Might even forget it. I can use myself as an example. There's people where I talk to them and maybe I don't talk to them on a consistent basis, but every time I talk to them, they forget about something that I'm doing. And then you talk to them and you speak on it, or you brush across the subject and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. How's that going?" See, a better way to have energy would just be to see me personally, and I can't say that everyone has this mentality, but I know that it's of prosperity. It's of that golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If I know somebody's doing something, I tend to remember. I tend to associate them with that. If somebody's trying to do whatever they're doing, whenever I talk to them, I tend to ask them about it. Hey, how's that going? What's your next move, man? You enjoying it? I won't talk to them 10 times and only speak on that once. And then the 11th time I talk to them is when I need something tangent to what I know that they are good at. Maybe that's just me. All right. Second reason. A lot of times people have false admiration for you because you prove them wrong. That's flat out what it comes down to sometimes. More often than you realize. Generally, you only hear about these things in passing. People generally don't tell you how they doubt you to your face. The most indication that people will give that they doubt you to your face, they won't just straight up bash it or say, I know this guy, he's like 5'5". When we were in our mid 20s or late 20s, he was like, I want to be a boxer. And people just kind of looked at him like, how much you weigh? 130 or something. You know, you how tall are you? Every once in a while, people would just like they would even tease him a little bit, like, really? Here, hit my hand as hard as you can, or something like that. Just giving off that doubtful energy. Then you happen to hear of this person or see this person, or you might even, sometimes it's funny how life works. Sometimes you'll catch this person out and about in the world, and they'll be doing that exact same thing that people doubted they could do. Maybe they don't have to make it to being world champion. They might have a losing record. That's not the point. The point is that they did what they said they were going to do. Maybe to the best of their ability, or maybe just enough to consistently stay engaged with that desire, whatever their prerogative is. But a lot of people will start to admire you after they see that you still sticking with it, especially if success hasn't hit you yet. Now, I'm going to hear, or I'm going to say something that you hear a lot, and it's arguably one of the most disgusting and decadent phrases. Bless your heart. You ever heard somebody tell you, bless your heart? You ever told somebody, bless your heart? That's a kind of a euphemism for like, you're still trying to do that? Or you haven't gave up on that idea yet? Somebody wants to be a model, or maybe they have some endeavor that success isn't plentiful, or is just something they don't think they can do. Maybe you want to be a whatever it is that you want to do. It's not even really about the examples. It's just the broad consensus that when you prove people wrong to whatever degree, that's when they start to admire you. Sometimes in a spiteful, envious way, but they'll project it as like a like it's an enigmatic thing. Because a lot of times when people have this false admiration for you and you prove them wrong, that's because people have a lot of endeavors. People have a lot of ideas that they try to go for in life. And a lot of people fail at them. Sometimes it takes people longer to fail than others, but more often than not, these type of people don't take disappointment and failure as well as the most resilient people in the world. I got another video that I'm going to make about alpha mentality versus beta mentality and sigma mentality. There's tons of alphas in this world. There's sigmas there too, but the sigmas kind of fly under the radar a little bit. And basically what I'm getting at is, as a sigma male myself, we take failure, disappointment, and rejection in stride. Like it's just a part of the process. People with alpha mentalities, they don't really operate like that. Like for example, like check this out. I'll give you a prime example. So, man, you see how my dome look? I'd have made that look nice. When people when people admired me about a couple of years into me shaving my head, I was going bald like in the 5th grade. That's just me. That's just how it was. And it was like, you got a bald head. You're gonna shave your head? Like you just gonna rock that style for the rest of your life? Like kind of like, really? And really what they're saying is, man, I couldn't do that. In their mind, it's like, well, shaving your head's not a good idea. This is just something little and petty, but understand the silver lining in it. That's because I look good with a bald head. They know they wouldn't. They might have cornrows. They might have the loveliest flowing hair and all of that stuff, but they won't shave that head. And then they'll have an opinion on whether or not that's an attractive thing or not. The common consensus is people shaving their head, especially women. It's not a hairstyle that you think would be contributed with beauty or attractiveness as much. But yeah, let somebody shave their head or just start rocking with some different hairstyle and get attention. Start getting a little actual admiration from people. It's funny how you get the most true admiration from people outside of your proximity, people outside of your close circle. Go out. I'll be sometimes in public and people, particularly women, every once in a while a dude will do it, but it's that false admiration thing generally when a guy does it. Women would do it too, but people will be rubbing my head like, man, your hair is smooth. Like how your head the same complexion as your skin, which is kind of a little bit of admiration, but then sometimes it'll be a sneak like inquiry. Like, sometimes sometimes people will show their admiration for you in an inquiring manner. Like, why you shave your head? Why you be doing that? Which is more of a projection that like they wouldn't do it. And then they start to see that other people like it for whatever reason, and then they just be like, huh. You know how many friends that I have? See, I'm in the 40-year old range now. You know how many friends I've had that joked me in my teenage years, early 20s, about having a bald head, and now that they getting older and their hairline is starting to go back, or they don't like what's going on with it, and they done shaved their head. It's just really funny. It's like, man, all of that junk you was talking, like this is such a terrible idea, and a go against the grain mentality, and now like 15, 20 years later, that reality done got a hold of you, you're doing it. So it ain't such a bad idea, huh? That is an option. That's a valid, legitimate option to take. Now they see it like, oh, prove them wrong. Or at the very least, I beat them to the punch. Like I said, another part of that, people have false admiration for you because they know they've done you wrong. I've got so many people that have admiration for me. I'll just give you an example and talk about myself. When we were younger and couldn't really apply ourselves or play sports, some people, maybe they like to rap, maybe they like to sing, maybe they like to play sports, maybe they like to draw, maybe they like to dance or whatever. Me in particular, my thing was kind of, I'm pretty musically inclined, and I was pretty good at sports. I guess for my age, I'm still pretty athletic, and I can move around and get what I want done and make impacts here and there, but not like I used to. But the point is, a lot of people counted me out. They didn't think I could. I remember the hardest endeavor was probably playing football. And I had my friends who actually had good energy, and they carried this energy off into their adult life. They're probably off giving off positive energy and inspiring people and motivating people to this day. Because that's just, they beautiful people. They was built right. They was raised right. But the masses, for the most part, they didn't see where I was headed. They didn't see how things would play out. And once they played out, then people had an admiration for me. Oh, he on first of all, he on the team, and then he's on varsity. He's he's starting. Hmm. Then they would have some admiration for me, but it's fake. That's false admiration. You just admire the fact that you didn't think I could do it, and I did it. And not only that, but there were a lot of people that picked on me in the process of getting to a level of you know, mild success or a level of accomplishment. It's like they didn't have no choice. Which leads me to my next point. A lot of people have false admiration for you just to be a part of the crowd. I know people that were hella overweight when we were younger. I never had that problem. I had the problem of people thinking that I was too skinny. You'd be surprised how many people I've heard tell me that I'm too skinny. And you know what the ironic thing is about most of those people that say, someone's overweight and fat and blah blah blah, or tell someone that they too skinny or they skin and bones. You know what the funny thing is? As we get older, those same people tend to be the people with health problems. Those tend to be the same people where their body is breaking down and crumbling by the second. Either they was not big, and then as they got older, they big as hell now with all these ailments, or maybe they were big and muscular or whatever, and now they just skinny, like skinny in a like a malnourished way. But those people that grow up and hit those uh hit those certain levels in life where maybe they're a little overweight but they're a lot healthier than other people, or maybe they're a little skinny but they're a lot healthier than other people, then people start to admire you. All those skinny people that used to run cross country, and people be like, man, they all skin and bones and stuff. You know them be the people that be living to like 80 years old, 85 years old, still jogging, still running 3, 4 miles a day, just out here proving people wrong. And then after that, you gotta admire somebody that's that old and can still run, right? You gotta admire someone that's having some type of success in their endeavor. Well, generally, other people that weren't there to hate on them or discourage them or kick them in the process of getting there, those people will just have natural admiration for them. Or, like I said, the people who was raised right, they would have some natural admiration for them from the get go. But the people that are most interesting are the ones who didn't see that coming. The guys that were, like I said, I guess I'm just using weight as an example, but yeah, the guys who were big and chubby, well, some of those guys grow up and use it to their advantage. Some of those women grow up and use it to their advantage. They the big chick out there in softball that's just jacking the ball, hitting home runs all over the place. They you got women wrestling now. You got women doing MMA, like, so all of those big girls. You got women boxers, you know. All of those, they was too big, and like, what are you gonna do? You big. Now that they doing their thing and they getting some actual admiration, now other people are like, well, dang, I guess I gotta. It'd be really hard to hate on them now. Like, I'm just gonna make myself an oddball, which is another kind of, hmm, gosh, I want to speak on it, but trying to stay in the pocket on the topic of false admiration. But that's a beta move. A lot of people are betas in this world. A lot of people think they're alphas, but they're actually betas. And that's a beta thing, to go along with the crowd. You were doubting somebody, or at the very least, you weren't even really entertaining them. You weren't listening to their music. You weren't watching them on TV. You weren't going to their shows. You weren't reading their books. You weren't reading their poems. You weren't, buying their artwork. But they get to a point where they start to get some momentum, and you see, oh wow, they actually made something out of that. And you just see you get in those settings where it's just positive energy going that way. You can't be that person no more. You got to go with the crowd, especially if you got that beta mentality that a lot of people have. And then if you have the alpha mentality, you're going to go with the crowd and then you're going to try to take over the crowd. But then you're going to try to like conceal the fact that you switching up. It's funny. Okay, I will speak on kind of an alpha versus a sigma and a beta mentality. Just as far as going along with the crowd, even if you do happen to switch up. See, if you a beta and you switch up, it's like you don't even cover your tracks because you're so submissive and so seeking of approval from other people. You'll just be right there in the crowd. There's 6 people in the crowd, and then all of a sudden they grow to 7th. You're like, well, who's that 7th person over there? That 7th person over there is the same person that was over here in the crowd hating on you in a prior situation. But they got to move with the crowd because they cannot be individuals. Their ego is not self-sufficient in any manner. Then you got your good old alphas that'll be over here in the crowd. See, those will be the ones cracking the jokes. Those will be the ones leading the charge as far as the doubt. Those will be the ones kind of how can I say? They'll be the main ones giving the dialogue or perpetuating doubt or perpetuating hate and negative energy. And then everybody else will just kind of be laughing or chiming in or building up on the little shade that they're throwing. Well, when they switch up, now they go over to the crowd. And it's funny. Check this out. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but the same person that was talking trash or downing you or doubting you or at the very least dismissive, they'll be over there in that crowd trying to take over that crowd now too. It'll be some just bland, vague, neutral acknowledgement that you're getting. But no. Now this alpha goes over to that crowd of 6 and becomes the 7th, and they try to dominate that narrative too. They all try to be like, yeah, I knew him back at 10 years ago. Yeah, I knew, man. Y'all heard this song, but y'all need to listen to his old stuff. Or like, man, y'all heard him rap, but y'all need to hear him sing. I bet y'all ain't heard him sing. Oh, y'all heard him sing, but y'all ain't know he could rap either. Like, oh yeah, I mean he a pitcher, but he can bat too, right? Like they be trying to one up the people admiring you. It's very interesting to see. Everybody else is gonna be like, oh hey, yeah, that's a good job, man. I'm proud you applying yourself to that. I'm proud you moving forward. Then you got the alpha people over here that want to be like, hey, I'd like to make a toast to my friend. I want to tell y'all a story about this guy back when he was first starting out. Hey, let me tell you about this girl, when all nostalgic. But see, the nostalgia comes from they remember when they doubted you. They remember when they counted you out. And now they can't. It's just a part of them. Last thing, a sigma on that, you won't even be able to tell. The sigma's probably just the person over there that's like, oh yeah, good job, man. Oh hey, they're asking they're not in a clout mode Or they not in a like ride your wave mode. They asking you questions like, "Oh man, so how's it feel? Um, oh cool, man. So what's your next move gonna be, man? Oh, you know, they got that genuine interest. Like they don't really care about stroking your ego, and they not trying to stroke their own ego by, hey, I'm giving off positive energy. Everybody listen to me and watch me as I compliment somebody and embrace somebody. Hey, everybody, I endorse this person. Like, Sigmas don't care about that. They really didn't care about you when you was over here on this side hating. See, Sigmas, they kind of, when people switch up, they don't even really throw it in your face. They just keep doing what they're doing because they never cared about admiration in the first place. But that's for another video. But it's interesting how people switch up and then how they apply that. But all of that led into the last one. One of the most interesting reasons that people have false admiration for you is so that they can claim you. There's people that I used to be neighbors with, or maybe there was some social network or social group or setting that we were all a part of. And they might have actually been a nemesis or an enemy or an adversary or an op. That's what they call them, op. They were in opposition. But now that things changed, now they like, oh yeah, I used to be his neighbor. Oh yeah, I went to school with her. Oh, my aunt used to babysit him. I used to I used to get this person a ride to work. Now, mind you, back when they used to give you a ride to work, they would hustle you and take advantage of you. You were their gas money. Uh, you would go out with them and you was supposedly wingmanning or wing chicken. Wing chicken. What do you call a woman when she being a winger? A wing woman. I don't know. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. But really, you want the wing. You was the formation. You was that chill person that didn't need to get all the attention, didn't need to approach people like that, didn't need to go dance first, didn't need to, I guess, even in a physical sense, didn't need to throw the first punch or throw a punch at all. They needed that. They they would get themselves in trouble a lot, or they would need assistance. They would need a boost. Now that they don't have that no more, and you never really needed that or needed to assist them, it's probably just some friendly nature. Now you off doing your own thing, and it's like you're using your talent in a constructive way, and they just want to claim it in some manner, like, oh man, yeah, dude, man, I remember me and him, we got in some good little scuffles and brawls and bar fights, man. Nobody could mess with us, man. I remember it was a couple of times, man. It was four guys, and like we both whooped them up. Like, man, get out of here, man. That false admiration. This person is off doing mixed martial arts, or they're off boxing, or they're off being a wrestler, and they're doing it in a form of discipline. They're doing it in a form of respect to the sport or to the craft. And you just over here wanting to claim it like, yeah, I used to partake in that with them. I taught him how to do that. Yo, you see that pitch? I taught him that pitch. Back when we went to school, he only had a fastball and a curveball. I taught him that slider. But the reality is, maybe you did teach them the slider pitch, but you didn't have no positive energy when you did it. It was more like you was that coach like, well, why don't you have this? Why you all exclusive? Why you outside of the box? Which is another Sigma thing, man. See, people be trying to claim the work and energy of Sigmas a lot. That's an underlying tone of this whole video. Now that I think about it, because see, as a Sigma, you can have 3 pitches. You could be good enough to be where you're gonna go. You're gonna get where you're gonna go. Maybe nobody can see that, but you know that because you believe in yourself. Other people be introducing stuff to you. They be kind of trolling you with things. Like, oh, you know, you a good artist when it comes to collages and stuff, but man, you ever thought about water painting? Why don't you do no water painting? Like, it's just some you know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean, you good at gymnastics and you good at the uneven bars or whatever that thing is, the bar they be hopping, but like, what? You need to work on your pommel horse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some trolling challenge. And as most people that have Sigma personalities are, they not gonna not do it because you are in essence being a hater. They're gonna be like, you know what? How much tighter would I be if I incorporated that into my repertoire? And then you go do it. But the funny thing is, after you have success with it, it can't just be that. They can't just have admiration for you as a whole. They got to particularly point out what they did for you, their part in it, their affiliation or association that they had or maybe still have with you. That's not real admiration. They call it clout chasing, but it's a little bit more of that as well. And to take credit. See, a real woman, a real man, they don't have to take credit for nothing that they see another person do. They don't even have to speak on it. They don't have to solicit it. They don't have to project it or let it be known. A lot of people have that type of mentality. So yeah, false admiration. Got to watch out for it because they say it's actually a sin. Envy, some of it is jealousy, some of it is just covetousness. False admiration can fall into all of those categories. Those can actually end up being some of the most dangerous people in your life. So be on the lookout for people who have false admiration for you. Be on the lookout for people who only have admiration for you because they see you as useful now. They see that you're being accepted now. So they want to be accepted by the people who are accepting you. They don't want to have that hater mentality still. They don't want to be in the crowd that's calling you the ugly duckling no more. They want to be in the crowd that's calling you beautiful and gorgeous now. Be careful for those people. Be careful for the people who have admiration for you because they know that they've plotted against you, because they know that they have impeded or hindered you in your progression of life. Not to say that's solely what they've done, because really, people that are doing that to you, they are just fulfilling God's master plan. A lot of people that tear you down and don't support you, that's God's way of lighting a fire under you. And for those of you that be tearing people down or impeding them or not supporting them, and when I say support, I mean more like if you know someone has an ambition, you don't have to just pull out some pom poms and rah, 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 rah. That's not necessarily what's being said here. You don't have to go and take a oversight oversight position like, oh well, if you're gonna do that, then you need to learn how to, you know. Someone says, oh, I'm a boxer. I want to be a whatever it is they want to do. I want to be a race car driver. Like, oh well, you need to learn how to race on dirt tracks. You need to learn how to race trucks. You need to learn how to race cars. You need to learn how to race different variations of cars. You know, you need to learn how to race road courses too. You know, not just, you know, well, you know, y'all may know that energy I'm talking about, or you may not. You know, somebody's like, you know, I want to be a singer. It's like, well, you know, you need to get the range of your voice. You know, you need to, well you might you know, you tell somebody you want to do something and they all, oh well, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. That's that alpha stuff. Alphas are actually quite corny in many ways. Or, you know, you don't have to gaslight them. Well, how you gonna do that? Which, in a sense, see, gaslighting can be challenging people. Sometimes people know you want to do something, or sometimes people know you're going through things and they gaslight you. Maybe somebody's in a terrible relationship and they trying to get out of it. That person over here is just like, oh man, you know those people that just the naysayers, the people that see the worst. You don't have to do that. Just sometimes just support somebody. If somebody, okay, in this example, if somebody's in a bad relationship or things are going not for the best, sometimes just don't say anything. Or if you're going to say something positive. That way, if and when things turn out, you don't look weird and suspect, being like, oh man, I knew you was going to make it through it. Oh man, you know, you got out of that relationship and now you married, man. You know, I'm really happy for you, man. That's good for you, man. Oh man, your family, y'all so lovely. Ooh, this is a nice house. And oh man, but those are generally the people that were like, man, they ain't gonna go nowhere. They're gonna end up on domesticviolence.com, and you know, all they gonna end up killing each other. They, you know, just that negative energy. Yeah, that wraps it up. Hope y'all enjoyed that, and if it applies to you, be it that you know what I'm talking about, and you know people do this to you, keep your head up. That's okay, because check this out. You're gonna have a lot more. It would behoove you to know how to deal with these people. And if you know how to deal with these people, continue to humble yourself. and stay compassionate with it, because it gets really, really hard. I see some people, they make it and they turn arrogant. And I can sit back honestly and understand where it comes from, because I've maybe seen their transition. Like, I saw how bad people used to dog this woman. I saw how bad people used to dog this man. I saw how when this person got out of prison, everybody just was like, well, they just gonna end up back in there, or what they gonna do with their life, or I mean, they know they can't get this type of job, where this avenue's closed to them and that avenue's closed to them, and now they doing bigger things than people who got clean records. So don't let that go to your head when you get to that point, because I see a lot of them, because they're so in defense mode, and they didn't keep their humility after they overcame the obstacles. Now they arrogant about it. And I mean arrogant into the sense that they're over exaggerating their value, over exaggerating their triumph, to the point where they're forcing admiration out of people. You can't force admiration out of people. That is going to be my last point. You cannot force people to admire you. And if you're forcing people to admire you, be it that you're imposing on them, or you're trying to manipulate them or control them, whatever admiration that you get after that is false. If you're out here being arrogant and downing other people, you know, like you a fast person, maybe you a track guy, and you just run around like, hey man, you think you could beat me in a race? Like, why are you asking that? Like, you a strong guy, you be weightlifting, you go to the gym, hey, you think you could bench press? How much you bench press? Oh, I bench press 350. I bench press 480. Anything after that, false admiration. Even if it is genuine, like, oh, 475. Wow, man, dang, that's crazy, bro. That's awesome, bro. Like, man, like, how'd you get to that point? Yeah, well, like, that's false. You shouldn't want that. A real humble or even God fearing person doesn't want that admiration. They want authentic, natural, organic admiration. And when you get that, now I can just talk about myself. I'm not the type of person that'll just like start blushing or something, or start to elaborate and expand and start boogie boarding on the waves. Like, here comes some attention. Oh, here comes some momentum my way. So let me do a trick. Oh, let me oh, like, like you don't need to do that either. Just keep it humble, keep it simple. And when people do admire you and give you energy, reciprocate it. Encourage those who encourage you. Admire those who admire you. Because sometimes a lot of people, they just in your life just to motivate you. A lot of us have more good people in our lives than we even notice. We've got actual admirers. We've got actual fans. They might not just come and tell you they a fan, but just how they move, just their energy, just the way they engage you, just the way they interact with you. You can tell, like, you know what? That's a true supporter. So show those people some love too, man. And you know, it don't hurt to give out that energy a little bit too. Everybody that you got in your life, for the most part, if they're a good person and you know how to uh, regulate your social life, you generally have people in your network that are trying to do things too. Motivate them. You ain't got to challenge them. You ain't got to troll them. You ain't got to ride their coattail. You ain't got to gas them up, but just support them. Positive energy is king. Positive energy and support and building up one another is admirable in itself. Doing things lesser than and all of that stuff that I talked about for the majority of this video, not admirable at all. And don't expect respect if you treat people like that. And if you're someone who is aware of these things and you don't have really respect for people that come at you like that, or you don't have respect for people that have switched up on you, or people that have had epiphanies all of a sudden, don't feel bad. Don't let them guilt trip you. Don't let them shame you. Don't let them convict you. Just keep it moving. Deuces.